This morning, Karen, thanks for joining us.
Back in the kitchen.
Back in the kitchen. Again, I love spending time with you because I know I'm going to get some great beef.
Good eats.
Good eats.
Absolutely.
Good eats. Today, Baha
Steak.
Baha
strips.
steak.
And you can do them in strips, you
Okay.
can do them in ribbons, but it's with a cilantro cream sauce, a citrus cilantro cream sauce.
And we talk a lot about lean cuts of beef,
Right.
and this is one of those lean cuts.
It is.
As we were talking before we started filming, economical
Exactly.
to buy.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can see the shot here. We have a beautiful steak, and it's a nice portion size, not overly big.
About 4 ounces,
Exactly,
it looks like.
exactly.
Okay.
About 4 ounces, and that's going to cook down to around 3, which is great. And this is actually a top round steak, so it is a more economical cut. But because we're going to mix a marinade and mix it up and put that in there for at least 30 minutes, it's really going to tenderize that nice.
Perfect.
So it's going to be a really wonderful flavor.
All right, so we've got a marinade we're going to make.
Right, we're going to make a marinade. Let me show you real quick though. I've already pre-cut some of our strips, but it's so simple and this is such a nice tender cut. All we're going to do is make 1/4 inch little cuts in our beef.
Okay.
All right, so that's really simple. We're just going to slice it down. Now that allows all that wonderful marinade to really just get into that beef. That's why it only needs to marinate about 30 minutes.
Now, when we're cutting beef like this, you probably want to do it directly out of the refrigerator because it seems like it cuts a little bit easier.
It does, it does.
Even if it's a little frozen? Is
Exactly,
that, okay.
partially frozen even would be great.
Okay.
Because when you put it into this marinade, then it's actually going to, you know, temp up and take that marinade in really nice. So let me show you the real simple marinade.
Okay.
I have fresh squeezed orange juice, all right? And then we're gonna add fresh squeezed lime juice, all right? So we're just mixing it all. The citric acid in these juices is what's really gonna tenderize that beef. All right, then we're going to add a Baha marinade, which is just a McCormick spice that I bought right off the shelf. A little bit of olive oil. Olive oil, it kind of acts as the transport of the marinade, which means it takes those good flavors right in. Now, I've already done a couple of cloves of garlic, but this is one of my favorite kitchen tools, my garlic press.
Okay.
Just throw my clove right in there. You don't really even have to peel them.
Right.
Squeeze it right out. Take the back side of my knife and just slide right down there. And now I've got this wonderful fresh garlic. A lot of people like to buy it in a jar, which is fine, but this is probably going to give you just a little more garlic flavor and a real wonderful aroma. You can smell it.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So
Yes,
then
I can smell it.
that's our simple marinade.
Okay.
That's it. We're just going to put it right in to our Ziploc bag.
Okay.
There we go. Get all that good garlic in there. And then I'm just going to kind of pick these up, drop them right into the bag, and I'm going to let you just kind of squish that around, make sure all those steak pieces get nice and coated with that marinade. Then we're going to pop that into our refrigerator for 30 minutes and get it marinated.
And one of the things we want to talk about here in the last 40 seconds we've got for this segment, we talked earlier while we were off camera, not poking a fork into your beef, using a tong or something flat to hold that down. Why is that?
And that's because, especially as you cook, like if you're out grilling, every time you poke a fork in it, you allow juices to escape. So if you use a tong, then you're not going to make holes in that beef that's going to allow those nice juices to escape. So using a tong is just a good habit to get into.
Well, I know
Gives you a better eating experience.
The plastic bag is not holding in the smell. It smells fantastic. So, when we come back, we're going to put these in the grill pan again and mix something else together. Thanks for staying with us, Karen. We've grilled this off.
We have.
Okay. Nice.
Smells nice, doesn't it? It does. And you notice I used the grill pan.
Yes.
You could do this outdoors like we've said, but the grill pan works really great for these little skewers.
And the one thing, and you and I were kind of talking about this, is these cook pretty quickly because they are cut in 1/4 inch pieces, so you don't want to overcook them. And
you just want to stand there and kind of stir fry them.
Exactly. And we're cooking with raw garlic.
Right.
What's the tip on that?
You know, the garlic was actually in the marinade, which when you put it in there, it's got some oil and it's got some things going to keep it really nice and tender. One thing I always tell people though, fresh garlic is an aromatic. It's kind of like our onions and that type of thing. But garlic, if it's overcooked, can become very bitter. So you want to make sure that, like if I was going to saute onions, I wouldn't put the garlic in at the beginning. I would wait until those onions had cooked 3 or 4 minutes, add the garlic at the end so that it doesn't become bitter.
And we have more things to go with this.
Absolutely. Now we're going to make the citrus cream sauce.
Okay.
And the citrus cream sauce is very simple, very few ingredients, and then we're going to ladle that on those little strips. Basically, we've done taken our cilantro, and I've chopped that up nice and fine, and that actually is just going to go right in to 16 ounces of cream cheese. And as a dietitian, I always try to make things a little healthier if I can. So this is actually light sour cream. So you're going to cut a little bit of the fat out of there. Now the other yummy thing that's going to make this sauce really tasty is just a squeeze of a half of a lime. We had lime in our actual marinade. And now typically a lime, when you squeeze it, you'll get a couple of tablespoons of juice. So we don't even have to measure that. And that's where we're at.
One of the things we talked about earlier is if someone doesn't like cilantro or doesn't like the flavor, don't cut it up so fine.
Exactly.
You like the flavor, cut it up a little more.
Exactly. If you've got people that don't like the cilantro real well, just leave it a little larger chunks. They can pull them out. Now the only other thing we're going to add here is a little bit of salt to taste, and just a little bit of ground black pepper if you'd like. And that's it.
Sure looks nice.
It's going to be a nice contrast on this steak.
And we're going to serve this with a salad.
Salad. And I like to bring in the flavors that we marinated in. So the orange, remember the orange juice was in the marinade. So basically all we're going to do now is put some of our steak strips right here onto the plate. Make a nice serving here. And then we're just going to ladle over. I've got just a spoon. And you can take some of that wonderful sauce, just put it right on top there. And that's just going to, because of the heat of that steak, it's just going to kind of melt that down over it. Wonderful eating experience.
And we've got about a minute left. Again, we want to thank Hy-Vee for allowing us to come to their test kitchen and come up here. But again, we want to make sure everybody knows to go to kansasbeef.org.
Right. For the recipe for this one, kansasbeef.org is your best bet. This recipe was actually one that we've kind of modified from a cook-off contest that we did. So it's a really flavorful recipe. You could add a baked potato to this. You could do some other things too. But you know, just a good salad on the side, complete meal right here.
Prep time, about 10 minutes?
Yeah, not much at all. And the marinade was only 30 minutes. So it was a really quick to fix recipe. And like I said, we used that economical cut. So that made it really nice. This could feed a family of 4 very easily. And probably...
Or Brian.
Right. 30 minutes on the marinade, and other than that, it's just probably 10 minutes prep time.
Again, if you want this recipe, go to kansasbeef.org or beef it's what's for dinner.
.com.
Perfect. We're going to have some food.
Absolutely. Let's eat.
We'll see you later.